Important advantages that you can get when you are working or studying with virtual education with computers are the using of some tricks and keyboard shortcuts. So we are going to mention some of them in order to try to organize them in our daily quotidian activities. To search for a text in the web, you are going to click Control key plus F, letter F. You're reading a lot of review on the internet and want to see if the article mentioned USB Type-C. You're reading a quarterly reporting word and want to find the section where the author mentions, for example, the word revenue or something like that. Hitting Control plus F, just about any program that involves reading all the major web browsers, word processors, spreadsheet, apps, and developer tools. Let's just search for a specific text string. If the program in question finds the text string, it will move your cursor to that place in the string, not just the first one. If the document has the string appearing more than once, you can jump from one instance to the next by hitting F3. Thank you. If you want to select multiple items, you have to use Control plus click or Shift plus click. Whether you're selecting rows in an Excel spreadsheet, for example, blocks of text in Word, or files in a file explorer, you may want to highlight a number of different items. If the times are all adjacent, for example, the rows 10 to 50 or so in a worksheet, for example, you can simply shift plus click the first one, then you hold down the shift key and then click the last one. However, if you want to select two or more non-adjacent items at the same time, you need to hold down Control and Control plus click all the items. If you click without Control being pressed down, you lose all the present selections. Thank you. Number 3, select all items. Control plus A, letter A. If you want to select all of the content in a given window, whether it's a document, a picture in an image editor, a folder full of files, or even a web page, you don't have to hold down your mouse button and drag the highlight down the screen, and just hit Control plus the letter A, and you can select everything in one opportunity, in one chance, in one stroke. You can then copy, paste, and even apply formatting if you want. It is very simple to do. Highlight a text. To highlight a text, you need to use the keys Shift plus arrow. With today's Legend of John P. inaccurate clickpads, it often takes a few tries to select just the text you want. And using a finger on a touchscreen PC isn't it much faster or easier? It is the same as the one before. To highlight text with your keyboard, simply hold down the Shift key. As you move the cursor with the arrow keys. If you also hold down Control, you can highlight whole words rather than individual characters with each arrow press. Remember that you can also change text to bold, Control plus B, or italics, Control plus I letter, in most programs without using a mouse. So it is a very interesting tip. back in web browser. You can use Alt key and left arrow plus left arrow. Most of us probably hit the back button in our web browsers constantly, a dozen or more times a day. And it is a very monotonous situation. There's no need to launch toward the arrow button every time you want to return to the previous page. Just hit Alt key plus the left arrow. Instead, hitting Alt plus right arrow takes you forward. So it is a very simple tip for you to use. Windows Snap. It is a very practical and useful trick that you can use. You only use Windows key plus arrow. Windows key plus arrow. One of the best features of Windows 10 is the ability to snap windows next to each other, so you can split the screen evenly between 2 to 4 applications. To perform this snap feature with the mouse, you need to drag a window all the way to the left or right side of the screen. If you want to take it off half or into the corner, if you want it to take up a quarter of the space, don't bother. Don't try to be uncomfortable this way. Hit Windows key plus left arrow or Windows plus down arrow after your snap it to the left or right, and it will move into the corner. If you have more than one screen, you can hit the key combo more than once to move a window from one screen to another, and you can snap a different window to each monitor edge, allowing you to have 8 snapped windows on 2 displays, or 12 on a 3 display setup. If a window is not snapped, hitting Windows plus up arrow maximizes it, while window and down arrow minimizes it. So it is very simple to use to try to work in an activity that it is important for you, and not to be changing every screen each time. Thank you. If you want to paste as plain text that you can get in the web or a document, you can use Control key plus a Shift key. It happens from time to time. You're composing an email or editing an online document in your browser, as we also do it when we are making some activities and tasks for the university. And you decide to paste in a snippet of text from a web page or a Word document. You highlight the text, copy and paste it, only to see all kinds of wacky fonts and unwanted formatting in your destination document. Fortunately, there's an easy solution in Chrome and in Firefox. Just you can hit Control key plus Shift key plus V letter, and the contents of your clipboard will paste into your browser as plain text. So you used Control plus Shift plus V letter. So it is so simple. If you want to close any Windows app, you can use Alt plus F4 key. Most people close programs by rolling the mouse pointer to the upper right corner of their window and clicking the X button, but that's a lot of longing and sweeping. especially if you want to close several programs at once. Alt plus F4 close all programs in Windows 7, 8, and including 10. Control plus W closes desktop applications, not Windows Store apps only, but all the applications. Thesaurus look up in Word. We constantly are making some activities and tasks for the university, and it is important for us to try to organize these activities. So sometimes we need to look up for some words that we need in order to get a better composition. So it is important for this topic to try to use two keys, Shift plus F7 key. Every time I write an article, an essay, or so, I find myself looking for some synonyms to keep the text fresh, not to repeat a word many times. If I am composing my article in Microsoft Word, I don't need to whip out the thesaurus or visit one online. I just highlight the word I want to look up, then hit Shift plus F7, and Word shows a comprehensive list of related terms in a panel on the right side of the screen, so it is very useful. Restore a closed browser tab. You can use Control plus Shift plus T, the letter T key. Sometimes you find yourself with way too many tabs, and you start closing them one by one. Hitting Control plus W letter key, like Wild, just to clean up your messy desktop. Then you realize that you just closed the tab with an important Gmail from your boss open, or the critical reference material you need to finish your report, as in the case of activities, tags, and so on. Just hit Control plus Shift plus T in any of the major Windows web browsers. For example, I use Chrome the most of the time, and Firefox sometimes, and Internet. This tip is useful for any of these browsers, and it serves to restore the last tab you closed. That's the important use of this Control plus Shift plus T. Thank you. You are working or in an activity, and you need to go doing any other thing far from the computer. If you want to lock your PC, you can use the Windows key plus L, letter L key. I used to work here in my house, where the head the children and all the people right here are patrolling the different rooms, checking to see many activities. It is important for you to try not to lose the activities that you are doing using this trick, in order for your activity not to be wasted. So it is important to use Windows key plus L key in order to lock this activity. When you walk away from your computer at work, or in my case at home, there's no reason not to lock it. All you need to do is hitting these two keys, and your your paper and your activity will be safe. Thank you. 12. 12. If you want to minimize all windows, you can use Windows key plus M, capital M. No matter how advanced Windows gets and how many library folders it has, we still find ourselves saving files onto the desktop. When you have plenty of windows open, many times we can do it. It's impossible to see or click all the files and shortcuts you have dumped on top of your wallpaper. Hitting Windows key plus a capital M letter minimizes all the windows, so you can see everything that's on your desktop, and it is very useful for you. 13. To bookmark a web page. If you think that this web page can be one of your favorites, you can use this trick in order to save it and try to consult it later. The trick consists on using the keys Control plus D, letter D. If you like what you are reading in any of the three major browsers and want to bookmark it, there's no need to click a star icon or select an option from your favorites menu. Hitting Ctrl plus D in Chrome, Firefox, Edge, Internet Explorer pops up a dialog box which lets you bookmark the current page, edit the name of the bookmark, and even select a folder to store it in. So it's very interesting. 14. Select a row in Excel, in an Excel document. You can use it. You can use two keys, Shift plus space. When you're editing a spreadsheet in Excel, Google Docs, or any other major productivity suite, highlighting cells by moving the mouse around is quite a drag. It is a very uncomfortable and monotonous situation. By hitting Shift plus space, you can select an entire row in any of these programs. Once you select the row, you can delete by hitting Control plus minus key. Select all the rows below or above by hitting Control by Shift plus Shift plus up or down arrow. Again, select all the rows below or above by hitting Control by Shift plus Shift plus up or down arrow. So it is simple too. 15. If you want to show the bookmarks menu, the pages that you consider favorite, and you don't want to use many steps but only one, you can use Control by plus Shift plus B or O letter keys. Open. Okay. O. Once you bookmarked your favorite sites in Chrome, finding those bookmarks isn't as easy as it should be. Hitting Control plus Shift plus O from Open by Open shows a full screen bookmarks menu in Chrome only, not in the only browsers. Not in the other browsers. Hitting Control plus Shift plus B reveals the bookmarks bar in Chrome, Internet Explorer, or Firefox. So remember, O is for Chrome only, and B is for Chrome, Internet Explorer, and Firefox. So it is another tip that I consider interesting and useful in our case. 16. If you want to enter, excuse me, if you want to, yes, enter or send an email, you have two opportunities to do it, two tricks. The first trick I used to use is Alt plus S key, and the other one is Control plus enter key. If you want to fire off a lightning quick email, for example, if you are doing an activity and you need to send some material to other companion or body, you can use this combination of these two keys in order to do it in a very quick and efficient way. The last thing you should do is move your hands off of the keyboard. After you tap your message, there's no need to waste precious time rolling your mouse pointer over to the send button and clicking. Hit Alt plus S to send your email in Outlook or other desktop mail clients. Hit Control plus Enter when using Gmail on the web. Just do it. 17. Rename files. It is very important to do it because sometimes you prefer some information that is important in that file, so you can do it in a very easy way. The only key that you need to use is F2. F2. There are so many reasons why you would need to rename a file. Perhaps it's a photo with a nondescript file name like SAM blah 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 JPG. Whatever your reason, the fastest and easiest way to rename a file is to select it in Windows Explorer and hit the F2 key. You can even use rename multiple files at the same time. Just highlight all your files you want to rename. Shift plus click your highlight many files at once. Hit F2. Type the new name and press enter. All the files will have the same new name plus a number in parentheses. For example, my mom 1, my mom 2, my mom 3, etc. If you want to rename these photos or pictures. So it is a very interesting trick in order for organize our information the way I really want. If you want to print out, you can use Control plus the P key. Most programs have a print option available on their main menus, but who wants to roll the mouse when you can just hit Control plus P key? Hitting this key combo doesn't immediately output your document, but instead brings up the print dialog box. From there, you can choose a printer or save as a PDF you can share digitally. So it is a good way to do it. 19. This is used for launching a File Explorer. Windows key plus E letter key. In Windows, you can create custom keyboard shortcuts for any app, but File Explorer is such an important program that Microsoft built a hotkey into the OS. Just hit Windows key plus E, and you can browse through all your drives and folders and copy, delete, and move your files. To refresh a web page, you can use Control plus R, the R letter key. Perhaps you're viewing a frequently updated web page like a forum or breaking news site. as in our case, the university environments, and you need to reload in order to see the latest content. Or maybe the web tool you're using is stuck in some way, and you just need to start over. Either way, you can hit F5 key, or Control plus R in any Windows web browser, Edge, Firefox, Chrome, Internet Explorer, to refresh the page. Thank you.